Hi, it's Tanya. Welcome to this little session I have for you today. And we are doing a standing routine, or some of it will be standing. I can't remember, I've got them on lesson plan. So we are going to be focusing on the neck and the shoulders today. So I know that for myself included, sometimes I spend hours on the computer and we land up with the posture like that if we're not careful. And then we start to get a lot of pain in the back of the neck, down into the shoulders, headaches. And again, as we get older, we don't really want to be having postures like this. We want to be nice and tall. So what you will go, if you have got bands, we'll use band. If you haven't, you can use a towel. You don't need to use anything if you haven't got anything. So I've got two bands. So I've got a purple band, which is a little bit of a harder resistance, and the yellow band is really gentle resistance. So my advice is if you're going to do a lot of Pilates and yoga or Pilates at home, it's invest in these bits of equipment. You can get them off eBay or Amazon. They're not particularly expensive. Even Facebook Marketplace, sometimes teachers are selling old bands. And it just makes your practice a lot more fun and you can do a lot more with it. So let's start with the purple band. Like I said, if you haven't got purple band, with this you can actually hold some bottles of water as well because it will pull the shoulders down. But don't worry too much if you haven't got. So we're going to pop our heels onto the band. That just keeps the band a little bit more back. And then try and make it as tight as you can. So that when we come into standing, the band is actually pulling the shoulders down. So like I said, you can use bottles of water as well, or cans of baked beans. Just the heaviness of that will act like a traction on the shoulder joint, decompresses the shoulder joint. So we'll start with some shoulder rolls. So bring the shoulders forward, take them up to your ears, to the wall behind you, and then relax the shoulders down the back. So forward, up, back, and down. So let me just stand to the side so you can see. So forward, up, back, and down. Now what we're trying to avoid, I get told off when I say we're trying to avoid a turtle head. Not sure why. So we're trying to avoid this. Okay? The only thing that moves is the shoulder girdle. And slide it down. Forward, up. Especially your back part, especially this part. Once the band actually works and it pulls your hands down, think of lifting your ears away from the shoulders. So forward, up, back, and then stretch down. Good. We'll just do a few more. So the other thing we want to try and avoid is the elbows doing the work. Okay? Oh, itchy nose. That is actually bicep work going on. And we're actually trying to do the shoulders. So try and relax your elbows and let the band and the shoulders do the work. Lovely. So hold that position there. Now we're going to do nose. Often especially ladies, we tend to want to please everyone. Sometimes it's good to say no and to do what you want to do and to look after yourself. So we're going to practice nose. So we're going to take the head over towards the left shoulder. Now if you have got access to a wall, this is quite a good idea. So if you put the back of your head against the wall, squeeze your shoulder blades together, let the hands go down towards the floor. So when you say no, I'm trying to get my ear to touch the wall and a little bit of the chin or the jaw, the bottom jaw. Often when we take it to the side, the chin will jut up. And then focus particularly on your right shoulder blade. So really pull that right shoulder blade into your back, because if you've got any stiff and tight muscles down here, the more you try and pull your head to the left, the shoulder will pull to the left as well. So we want to try and keep that shoulder back as we take the head to the left to get a better stretch. Bring the head back to the front, take it over to your right side. Crunch, crunch, crunch. Now pull the left shoulder blade back, squeeze it to the wall, try and get your right ear to the wall. Looking over and then come back again. Just do maybe 2 or 3 on each side. As always, you might find one side is a little bit harder than the other side. That's completely normal. Good. One more each side. Keep those shoulder blades back. And then we'll bring the head back to the front and release. Good. So now we're going to do ear to shoulder. Ear to shoulder. So again, if you haven't got a wall, don't worry. It just helps to give you a little bit of more feedback. So from here, shoulders are pulling back and down. So I'm trying to get my shoulder blades to touch the wall. So for some people, it might feel like you're sticking out your chest. Doesn't really matter, particularly for this, because we're focusing on the neck. So now drop your head down to the side as though you want your left ear to touch the shoulder. Now it's amazing how many people will do something like that or something like that. So literally you're just putting the head onto the side. So if you've got particular tightness down here somewhere, when you take, going to lose that. When you take your head over to the left, this right shoulder might want to climb up because your body is going, that's too uncomfortable, it's going to hurt too much, it's going to be too pulley. So it might lift that shoulder. So really focus on pulling that shoulder down, relaxing down. And it might mean actually you need to take the head up a little higher. The other thing that does happen is people go, whoop. So remember, the spine up to your collarbones want to be tall. It's literally just the neck and the head. So let's just hold it for a couple of breaths here. Each exhale, pull the shoulders back and down. Try and take the head a little bit more towards the ears. You might even find the left ear wants to pull up, left shoulder wants to pull up a bit. So it's quite nice with the band. The more you can relax your arm bones and muscles, the band will help pull those shoulders back and down. Bring the head up and then take your right ear to right shoulder. So for me, this feels a little bit more different. I don't know if you could notice that on me. So pull those shoulders back and down. Is the right foot taking more weight? So we still want to keep those feet evenly balanced, the spine nice and tall, the shoulders are back and down. Each exhale, can you just deepen that stretch? So just watch that left shoulder. Is it pulling forward? So remember back in the old days, you keep your head there while I explain this. Remember in the old days, we used to put our phones there while we're typing. So can you imagine after 30 years of doing this, how stiff these muscles are going to be? So for someone like that now to be doing this, what's going to happen in their body is that shoulder wants to pull up. So all these little habits that we have in our everyday life can really affect our body and the balance of our body. When I mean balance, I don't mean standing on one leg balance. I mean how muscles on one side of the body might be more developed, they might be more stiff, and then bring the head back up again and just have a little shoulder roll. This is my favorite one. So we're coming into, we call it 45 degrees. This works particularly on the muscles that cause a lot of pain down the upper back, into the back of the neck, up the skull. It's also known as the headache muscle. And I'm going to tell you what the muscle is. It's called levator scapular muscle. It's quite a complicated muscle in terms of how it works. So to stretch this one off, we're going to look 45 degrees to the left. So look 45 degrees to the left. Pull those shoulders back and down. Now I'm actually going to turn to the side for this one. Rather than just dropping your head down, which actually becomes a spine movement, we're going to send the chin back first to give yourself a double chin. Looks very attractive. And then take the chin above your collarbone. So if I was against the wall, it's almost like I'm actually trying to keep my head against the wall. Now pull your shoulders, especially your right one. Keep pulling it back and down as you try and take that chin a little bit closer to the collarbone. Like you're trying to give your armpit a sniff. So staying there. This is one that I do need to do quite often. So maybe you've heard of, I've got knots in my back. There's no such thing as a knot. It's probably this muscle that needs releasing. So if you sit on computers all day and drive a lot, this is an excellent stretch that you can incorporate into your everyday life. So you can see I can get a little bit lower then, but you must keep that right shoulder back and down. Bring the head up 45 degrees, come back to center, reset the shoulders. This is the last one we're going to do to the right side, 45. Reverse the car into the garage, reverse the chin first. Oh, then take the chin above the collarbones. Oh, yes. This is one of those, it's like, oh my God, that really hurts. Oh my God, it feels amazing. So taking that chin down, pull that left shoulder back and down, stick your chest out almost just to exaggerate it. So each exhale, we're trying to go a little bit closer, but remember, we're not dropping the head forward. We're trying to get the chin to come in above the collarbones. So last few breaths there. And then bring the head up 45 degrees, come back to the center, and then just have a shoulder roll, and then drop your bands and just give this a little shake. And then, brilliant, well done guys, well done with that one. So now what we're going to do is we're going to focus on opening up the chest. So I'm going to take this band, which is the lighter one. If you have only got one band, you can still use this one, but you're just going to hold it really wide to start with. So even if you've got a really long towel or a belt, you can still use that. I've just got this one because it's got more give in it, so just health and safety. It's just kinder on people's shoulders. So we'll start with this very technical name, which up and overs. So we'll start with the band loose or the towel loose, because we don't know how tight these muscles are until we start moving. Especially if it's first thing in the morning, this is going to be a lot more restrictive than in the evening. So from here, we're going to take the arms up. Now just hold it there and drop the shoulders, and then take it down behind you. Take the arms up, drop the shoulders, bring the hands down. So for me, like I said, this band is practically like paper. I'm going to make that a little bit tighter. See how that feels in your body. So take the hands up, drop the shoulders, take it back and down. So I'm going to exaggerate what we're trying to avoid. We're trying to avoid that with these shoulders up there. Okay, so as you bring your hands up, slide your shoulder blades down. We get that nice full turn inside of the socket, and we pull the arms back and down. Take the arms back and up, shoulders down, and there. Now, be aware of going under a tunnel. Have you ever been in a car, or maybe you've seen people, when they go under a tunnel, they drop the head. Now, I appreciate if there isn't much range, you might want to take the top of your head off if you can't get the arms too far up and over. So maybe not use anything if that range is like that. Just use the arms then, okay? For the rest of us, so now you might want to make that band a little bit tighter. So we're taking it up, drop the shoulders, pull it down. Just conscious of the wall there. Take it up. So each time you do 2 or 3, can you make it a little bit tighter? But you don't want to get to the point where you're doing bendy arms at the back. We want to try and keep those straight arms. So bendy arms, any elbows that are bending when we're doing arm work or shoulder work indicates something is going on with the shoulder. So, or it's lack of awareness. So don't compromise that just because you're trying to get your hands really close together. Just find that range where it's, oh, I can feel that stretch across there, and then take it down. But we want to keep those elbows straight. Shoulders down. We'll just do one more. Lovely. So now what we're going to do is turn the palms the other way. So again, if you've got a purple band or a hard resistance, doesn't matter. You might just want to make it a little bit looser than what I'm holding that one. So this is actually one of Joseph Pilates' moves that he used to do on the reformer machine, which looks like a sex torture thing. Go and Google it, a reformer, Pilates reformer. So we're standing nice and tall, the palms are facing forward. First thing we're going to do, neutral spine, rib cage is pulled in. I'm going to send my hands backwards, but still keeping the palms facing forward. So we're really working these muscles in the back of the arms there. It's fantastic. Now, turn your hands so they're pointing outwards and squeeze your shoulder blades together. And then bring it back and relax. That's the first part of the move. Now we're going to do the second part. Arms go back, palms go out, squeeze your shoulder blades together. Now look over your right shoulder, look over your left shoulder, come back to front, release. Now on your next one, you do left shoulder. So take it back, palms go out, squeeze those shoulder blades together. We look over the left shoulder, look over the right shoulder, come back to the front, and release. So each time you do it, you just start a different side. But challenge yourself. You want to try and pull those arms as far back as you can. I've noticed as I've started getting a little bit older, I'm like, what is this hanging in the bottom of my arms? So these are really good for those bingo wings. I think I should do these all day. So one day you wake up and all of a sudden there's these bits hanging everywhere. Good, last one. Hands go back, turn the palms out, looking left, right, come back to center, and release. And I will admit this is not one of my favorite ones because of the neck. So put that down. We're going to do nice little neck circles now, just to loosen that off. So we're going to look 45 degrees to the left, do that little chin tuck that we did earlier. So reverse the chin back, take the chin down. And now keep your chin down as you draw a line towards this collarbone. But try and lift your body so that we're not standing in this shape. So lift your body, shoulders back and down is literally the head. You take it to the center of the chest and then back to like where your collarbone ends in the shoulder there. So keep lengthening your spine. Keep pulling those shoulders back and down. And you might find some points are like, oh, I can really feel that there. And then just hang around in that area. That's obviously where there's a little bit more restriction. And you might find you can start to get the chin closer to the chest. Good. So on the next one, when the chin goes back to the collarbones, to the shoulder, look up, take it over to your right side, reverse the chin into the garage, take the chin down to the collarbone. Pulling those shoulders back and down. Now draw a line along to the center again. Take it back to the right shoulder. So each time you're doing this, I want to grab my head. You're trying to get this head closer and closer to this collarbone, and at the same time you're trying to get the shoulders more and more down the back so that these muscles are being stretched. And then once you take it back to the shoulder, bring the head up, come back to front, and then have a little shoulder roll. Lovely. So last little exercise, again, if you've got a wall, great to use a wall. If you haven't, don't worry. Let's have the feet a little bit wider just to help with the balance. So we're going to do side bends, and we're going to include a neck movement. So we're going to go towards the left. As you go towards the left, let the hips go out, look up. Bring it back in, look to the right, and look up. So this actually works on stretching off the muscles that surround the nerves. It's a neural stretch. Now what you can also do is we can include arm. And this is a little bit of coordination. Hand goes up, and we look up, bring it back down. Hand goes up, look up, come back down. So everything wants to happen at the same time. So when you start to look up, now I actually want you to start to think, I want to look over my shoulder. But be aware, like I've just done, as you bring your hand up and you want to look over the shoulder, be aware that that doesn't happen. So again, if you've got a wall, this is why walls are fantastic. Look up. So now I'm getting that feedback as to, are my shoulders staying against the wall? And I'm not tilting forward. So this is called a neural stretch. So we can't stretch nerves in the body, but we can release the muscles that surround the nerves. So if you've ever had pseudo-sciatica, and the muscle, and I get that, sometimes I get that if I sit too long, the muscle around the sciatic nerve is tight, and then it causes those sciatic symptoms, just the same as normal sciatica. But actually it's the muscle that is impinging the nerve rather than the vertebral column that's impinging the nerve. So this is, again, really good for that. Not particularly the sciatic one, but releasing the nerves. Anyhow, so coming back to the front, just give your neck a little jiggle. And I hope you enjoyed that standing session, particularly focusing on the top part of the body. I've got other ones where we focus on lower half of the body, so you can go and find those. So I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you in another video soon.